Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVIDIA Analysis and Assessment. NVIDIA is still trading around a 182 level, which is a critical resistance level that I mentioned in my previous videos. In this video, let's take a look how NVIDIA can behave this week. Now, let's get started. On Friday last week, Nvidia made a high 183.30 and it closed at 182.74. So that tells that, around 182 and 183, the consolidation is happening and that resistance level is very strong, as I mentioned in my previous videos. And I also mentioned that even if Nvidia goes above 182, it won't be very easy for NVIDIA to sustain above 182. So you see that multiple times NVIDIA tried to go around 183, but it was not able to go any further. It came down multiple times. And if you take a look, the cumulative percentage distribution chart as I show in my screen, you see that the highest value Nvidia touched in last week was 183.88, and that's probably is an all-time high as well. At this point for this quarter, the maximum percentage change for Nvidia is 27.8% from the previous earnings announcement. And if you go back in the past, the last quarter, Nvidia went up about 17%. In Q4 2024, it was 3.2%. Q3, it was 25.74%. Q2 2024, 36.6%. And Q1 2024, it was about 38.6%. So in last 5 quarters, with the exception of just one quarter, NVIDIA average maximum percentage upside is about 25 to 30%, right? So in this quarter, Nvidia is already around 27%. So probably a few more percentage point, Nvidia has some room to go further up before the next earnings. And that is probably 20 days from now. And also, you see that few days ago, Nvidia went down to 172 or 171, and that was, I guess, was a very good buy point for Nvidia because I mentioned in my previous videos, whenever Nvidia takes some dip, so that would make a good buy point for Nvidia. So still in next few days, if Nvidia takes a dip, goes back to 174, 175 level, that probably again would be a very good buy point before the earnings. And if we take a look the forward P as of Friday last week was 42.60 and last 4 or 5 weeks average is about 39.21. But you see overall trend is up in last 5 weeks from 36 to 38 to 40, then again 40 and then again 40 and now 42.60. So Nvidia started gaining some momentum in last few days, and I hope Nvidia can carry the same momentum in this week as well. And another thing that might help Nvidia to go up early next week is this one. You see that US licenses Nvidia to export chips to China. Okay, so that's the good news for Nvidia stockholders. In my opinion, probably Monday would be a good day for Nvidia. And also, I have NVIDIA shares. I do not have any plan to sell NVIDIA stocks before the earnings, even if NVIDIA goes down. So my plan is if NVIDIA goes down few percentage point before the earnings, probably I will buy more NVIDIA stocks. And regarding the economic data, as you see on my screen, Monday, nothing is scheduled. Tuesday, we have the inflation data coming, that is a CPI and the core CPI data. On Wednesday, nothing much. On Thursday, we have the core PPI and the PPI data. And Friday, nothing much. So this week is very important regarding the inflation or the CPI data. And that would help FOMC decide if they're gonna do any rate cut in the next FOMC meeting. And that's gonna happen sometime in September. And if you take a look overall trend for the CPI for the last few months, you see that CPI was trending down until June, and the last cycle we saw the CPI 2.7%. So this month CPI data would be very critical, and that would tell if the trend started going up for the inflation or the CPI. The forecast for this cycle is 2.8%. And if you take a look core CPI data, you can see that the last cycle also came higher. That was 2.9%. And before that, last few months, it was ranging around 2.8%. In this cycle, the forecast is 3%. So let's see if the core CPI data comes higher than the forecast or comes higher than the last cycle. And that would also tell if the inflation started going up or not. Because we have seen lots of debate regarding the tariff inflation. So Mr. J. Paul still thinks that the inflation might come back because of the tariff, right? So next month or two, in his opinion, is very critical regarding observing any inflation trending up or trending down. And now let's take a look technical charts. As you see on your screen, I selected 90-day hourly interval chart, and also I'm showing you different Fibonacci levels for last 90 days. So based on the Fibonacci levels, the next level of support is around 168, and that translates to 23% retracement. So if you remember the last time I told you guys that 168 is a very strong support level. I also placed a limit buy position around 168, but somehow I could not get it because Nvidia did not go down to 168 level last week. It came down to 171, but not 168, and then it started going up. So again, I think that if Nvidia started going down, even if it does not come to 168, and if it comes to 172, 173 level one more time, then probably I will place another limit buy position for Nvidia. And based on the MACD chart, I'm talking about this chart, as you see on your screen. At this point, I do not see a very strong momentum on Nvidia. It looks like it's on the consolidation mode for last day or two. You see, still moving around 182, but it still is above zero level. So that's a good sign that tells that no negative pressure is building up on Nvidia at this point. So I think that for next week, the CPI or the inflation data will set the tone for the overall market. And regarding the maximum point for Nvidia for this quarter, as I shared with you multiple times in the past, that so according to my calculation, it was 182. So Nvidia already touched 182. And if you see that the maximum calculation considers some business loss in China due to the export restriction. So if that business is mostly coming back, then probably I can take out this 5% correction. So if I do that, the maximum point for Nvidia is 191. So this tells that before the next earning, if Nvidia builds some upward pressure, then 191 is a maximum point Nvidia can touch before the next earnings. I'm not saying that Nvidia would go and touch 191, but just in case if the positive or the upward pressure builds up on Nvidia for some reason in next few days or week. Okay, so that's all about my analysis and assessment for NVIDIA for this week. And also, I'm planning to upload a video on SMCI. I will discuss if this is a perfect opportunity to buy SMCI and to make money in a very short interval of time. As you notice, SMCI is down about 18 or 19% at this point after the earnings. Thanks for watching this video. Talk to you more in the next video. Take care.